Welcome to Show-Off Showdown! In this series, the fighters are called show-offs, and this is the series for the Show-Off Showdown! Now let's meet the show-offs for tonight's episode, shall we? Tonight, we have a showdown between the leader of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going up against the leader of Team Ruby. That's right, Leonardo versus Ruby. And not just any Leonardo. The version of Leo we'll be using for this battle will be none other than the 2003 Leonardo. I put links to the analysis on both characters in the description below. With that being said, it's time for a show-off to showdown!
Fight!
Whoa, time out. Okay, now before the Ruby fanboys rage, please hear me out. I can explain everything. And I will explain every detail of this fight one step at a time. So please save your ranting for after the end of the video. Okay, now let's discuss Leonardo versus Ruby. Now, I will start off by saying that the version of Leonardo we were using for this battle was the 2003 Leonardo. Now, if Ruby was fighting the 2012 Leonardo, then Ruby would have easily won. No doubt about that. But this was the 2003 Leonardo, who is a completely different character from the 2012 Leonardo. Now, let's discuss how and why Leonardo wins this fight. First of all, Leonardo has most of the advantages. Leonardo is stronger, smarter, more durable, more skilled, and more experienced than Ruby is. I'm sure we can all agree on that. Now let's discuss their speed. Thanks to Ruby's semblance, Ruby can move fast enough it's almost as if she's teleporting, which does help her keep up with Leo's speed, and Leonardo is extremely fast, for a turtle. While Ruby's semblance is useful while fighting against someone like Leo, sadly it comes at a price. Her aura. Ruby uses her semblance at the cost of her aura. When Ruby uses her semblance, it weakens and or decreases her aura, making her less durable and more vulnerable to attacks. Now let's discuss their weapons. Now you're probably thinking that Ruby's scythe is superior to Leonardo's swords, right? Well, not exactly. Ruby's scythe does look like a more powerful and deadly weapon, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Ruby's scythe is sharp enough to cut through trees. Now don't get me wrong, that's actually pretty sharp. In fact, you know those big, brawny lumberjack guys who carry big axes, right? For chopping down trees? Well, despite them being that big and bulky, it would still take them quite a few swings just to chop down one tree with an axe. Now, on the other hand, Ruby, who is a 15-year-old girl, her scythe can effortlessly slice through trees like butter. In fact, she delivers a very clean, clear, smooth, and perfect slice when she chops them down. So that is a pretty sharp scythe. But they're not nearly as sharp when compared to Leo's katanas. Leonardo's swords can effortlessly slice through solid metal, which is something that no ordinary sword can do in real life, as far as I'm aware. Yet this is something that Leonardo casually does almost all the time. Leonardo's swords can casually and effortlessly slice through steel, blades, armor, robots, tanks, and much more. So I think it's safe to say that Leo's swords are definitely capable of cutting Ruby's scythe in half. Not to mention, Leonardo is easily durable enough to withstand bullets, so Ruby's shotgun blasts aren't really going to do anything to him. Now, Ruby may be skilled with her scythe, but she's not very good with hand-to-hand combat. Leonardo, on the other hand, is a master of ninjutsu who has learned everything that Splinter has had to teach him. And Leonardo is an excellent fighter with or without his weapons. And thanks to Leonardo's speed and quick ninja reflexes, he is definitely capable of disarming Ruby by either taking away or knocking the scythe out of Ruby's hands. Or maybe his swords would just cut through the scythe first. Maybe, maybe not. Without the scythe, there isn't much Ruby can do against Leo. Alright, now here's the question that everyone is probably wondering. Couldn't Ruby just use her silver eyes to freeze Leonardo and then kill him? Well, it's a bit complicated actually. Now, theoretically, yes, Ruby's silver eyes would probably be able to work on Leonardo, and they would be able to freeze him. But there's something wrong with that, actually. You see, Ruby's silver Ruby's silver eyes are not something that just happens automatically for no reason. Now don't worry, I will not give the excuse that Ruby isn't experienced with her silver eyes and she doesn't even know how they work. Rather, if that excuse is true or not, I have a much better explanation for this. Now, Ruby's silver eyes have a bit of a plot factor to them. Okay, now wait a minute, let me explain. Like I said before, Ruby's silver eyes are not something that just happens automatically for no reason. Her silver eyes had to be activated and or triggered by something. Do you remember when Ruby saw one of her closest friends being killed right in front of her? When Ruby saw one of her closest friends being killed right in front of her, you can see how much psychological trauma and pain she went through. You saw the look on her face and the emotion she experienced when she saw her friend die, right? Pain, guilt, anger, depression, and grief. Seeing her own friend being killed right in front of her like that was probably enough to mentally scar Ruby for life. And that is what triggered her silver eyes. You know, if you think about it, this battle is actually a lot like Cartoon Fight Club Vegeta vs. Azura. Let me explain why. Now, if Leonardo were to do something absolutely terrible to Ruby, like say kill one of her closest friends right in front of her, then that would most definitely trigger Ruby's silver eyes, and she would most likely freeze Leonardo almost instantly. But however, remember, in the show, after Ruby unleashed her silver eyes, she was knocked out cold, and the next morning she woke up in bed with no memory of what happened. Now, honestly, I don't know if the silver eyes would actually kill Leonardo or if they just freeze him. But if they would, all they do just freeze him, then Ruby wouldn't actually kill Leonardo after she freezes him, because she would immediately be knocked out cold after she uses the silver eyes. But honestly, all of that doesn't really matter, because this is just a one-on-one fight with no prep time, and Leonardo has never done anything like that to Ruby. He has never done anything that would trigger her silver eyes. No, besides, I don't think Leo would actually want to do something terrible like that anyway, because Leonardo does not like to kill innocent people for no reason, and I'm sure we all know that. So I think it's safe to say that Leonardo isn't going to kill any of Ruby's friends, and Ruby isn't going to use her silver eyes on Leo. And once again, this is just a one-on-one fight with no prep time. I think I've said enough for this episode. The winner of this battle is Leonardo. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this, but if you want to see a 4-on-4 rematch with Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael going up against Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, then comment down below the word rematch. And maybe if this episode gets enough rematch comments, then hopefully I just might do a rematch between the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Team Ruby. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to successfully do something like this, but if I do, then I'm definitely going to need some help with it. And speaking of help, I want to give a special shout out to the animator of this battle, Armando9000. He did an amazing job animating tonight's battle, so go check out his channel and subscribe. Now, this is just the first episode of my series, which means I'm new to this sort of thing. But if any of you want to help out with the series in any way, rather if it's with research, animation, or anything else, then that would be so awesome, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Got any ideas for Show Off Showdown? Then let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I just might do them. Now stay tuned for the next episode of Show Off Showdown!